fellow students of Standard 9. Today we are going to learn a new chapter which is based on history. Last time what we had seen was chapter number 4, the rise of modern empire. Today we are going to learn the rise of Gupta Empire. That is chapter number 6. Let's go to the first part of this chapter, that is the sources. As you know, whenever we learn history, we need sources. So there are two types of sources. One is the literary sources, other is the archaeological sources. The first, literary sources. We have one foreign literary sources which makes us understand the lifestyle during the Gupta period. The record which was written by the Buddhist priest coming from China. Okay. In many texts it is written as Fahyan or Fazian. For our convenience, from our textbook, we will go with the word Fazian. Okay, Fazian came from modern day China, taking the Silk Route, that is from the eastern side of China, through Tibet. After reaching Afghanistan, he entered Indian subcontinent. And when he entered subcontinent, India, his major aim was to learn Buddhist texts. So he visited major places which were related to Buddhism. So let us try to understand which places he visited. He visited Mathura, Kanauj, Kapilavastu, Kushinagar, Vaishali, Patliputra, Kashi and Rajagriha. Okay, so if you hear these names, these were mostly the Buddhist religious places. Or when we speak about Rajagriha or Patliputra, these were either educational spot or political capitals, you could say. Now, when he visited these areas, he spoke about the society. He spoke how the society was divided into caste system. Caste system was very, very strong during that time. He also spoke about the religion which was prevalent during this time. Fazian visit in India took place in the 5th century CE, okay, during the reign of Chandragupta II. I'll talk about Chandragupta II later on in detail. Let's go to the next part, that is the archaeological sources. You have already seen this picture when I spoke about chapter number 4. This pillar was also used during the time of Ashoka. Okay? Ashoka's Dhamma was written on many rock edicts and pillar edicts. So this is one of the pillar edicts. This was also used later by the Guptas, and even there are certain designs which were made during the time of Mughals. So let us speak about what was written during the time of Guptas. During the time of Guptas, we have carving which was written in Sanskrit. It was an eulogy. Okay, let me explain what is eulogy. Eulogy means any writing which praises any person. So this eulogy which was written on this pillar was written by Harisena. He was the court poet during the time of Samudragupta. After the death of Samudragupta, these inscriptions were carved out on this. Now it contains description of conquest of Samudragupta. There are 4 places which are described in this inscription. The first part which they describe is Dakshinapatha. Dakshinapatha means conquest towards south. What they tell us is that in Dakshinapatha, 12 kingdoms were defeated or captured by Samudragupta, but he didn't stay there for long. He gave this land back to the original kings. Probably they were kept as the feudatory chiefs under Gupta rulers. Then we speak about Aryavarta. Aryavarta means modern day Indo-Gangetic area, mostly around Ganges area. Over here it tells us about 8 kings being exterminated. So their total their territories were totally captured by Samudragupta. Then we speak about forest area. Now when we speak about forest area, it is mostly around what we say modern day Nagpur, Chhattisgarh area. Okay, have you heard of Chota Nagpur Plateau? So this forested area, it is mostly described in this. So it says that 5 border states and 9 tribal republics were subjugated by Samudragupta. Along with that, we also get some description about foreign states or neighboring kingdoms. It tells us that the Kushana kings, Daivaputra Shahi Shahun Shahi, Shakas from Gujarat, Murandas from probably modern day Pakistan and Punjab, Indian side of Punjab, and Sri Lankan rulers. They acknowledged the friendship with Samudragupta. They also gave him gifts, and there were matrimonial alliances between these kings and the Gupta dynasty. Now let us talk about the next part, that is the political development during the Gupta period. When I speak about political development, we'll be speaking about rise of Gupta Empire, decline of Gupta Empire, and we will also speak about the administration. So the first part, extent of Gupta Empire. In this, we will be speaking about three kings: Chandragupta first, the founder, Samudragupta, and Chandragupta second, also known as Vikramaditya. Okay, if you have heard about Vikram stories, okay, the character, the king Vikrama, is mostly based on this person. Okay, let us go to the foundation. When we speak about the originality of Gupta Empire, we don't get much description. Only thing which we do know is that Chandragupta first led to the foundation of Gupta Empire, which was somewhere around 320 CE, and he ruled for 15 years. Okay, so his rule lasted till 335 CE. During his reign, with matrimonial alliance and with the conquest, he extended his empire from Patliputra in the east towards Mathura in the west. One of the greatest advantage which he had was he had the matrimonial alliance with the Lichavis. So he had a powerful army. His son, Samudragupta, who ruled from 335 to 380 CE, is known to be expanded the territory. The proper establishment of Gupta Empire was done by Samudragupta. As we go back to Eulogy, which was written, the first thing which tells us is Samudragupta's conquest towards south. So he can see the route which he took from his territory of Magadha towards Kalinga, towards Pallava kingdom, and he had to move back. Okay, so this is the route which he took place while he tried to conquer the south territories. Then we speak about Aryavarta. So if you see this dark patch, starting in the modern day Punjab area, even parts of Rajasthan area, Bangladesh area, and Assam area. So he extended this empire from west towards east. Okay. Later on, the next king which we have is Chandragupta Vikramaditya, also called as Chandragupta II. His conquest, when we speak about, is known for defeating the Shaka rulers which were ruling over Gujarat. Okay, and he also conquered the parts of Malwa. So we see is that from Gujarat till the borders of Kashmir, from Punjab till the borders of Assam and Bangladesh was the extent of empire till the rule of Chandragupta first, Samudragupta, and Chandragupta II. Later on, with the next generation, they extended this empire till the valleys of river Indus. Now, let us go to the next part, that is decline of Gupta Empire. One of the major reasons why the Gupta Empire expanded was their conflict with the group of rulers called as Huns. Okay, even if you go to the European history, during Roman time, we will hear a lot about a group called as Red Huns. But over here, when we speak about, we will be speaking about a group called as White Huns. Okay, their origin is from North China. They got settled in Central Asia. After taking control of Afghanistan, they entered India. They were called, in Sanskrit, they were called as Shweta Huna. I will repeat, they were called as Shweta Huna. Okay. Their major rulers which we find is Mihirakula and Toraman. Okay, they tried to capture the parts of Gupta Empire. They were also fought back by the Gupta Empire. There is one of the descendants of Guptas, that is Narendra Gupta, was able to even defeat some of the Huna kings. But later on, Hunas were able to capture parts of Gupta Empire. You can see the northern part of Gupta Empire was captured during 480 CE. The western part, that is Sindh area and Gujarati area, also came under the control of Hunas in 500 CE. The remaining part, that is the Gangetic plain, was later on collapsed, and by 550 CE, the whole Gupta Empire was over. So we see coming of Hunas, fall of Gupta Empire, and with that we see rise of what we call Harshavardhana, Chalukyas in the south, and Pallavas in the south. Let's move next to the administrative part. When we speak about administrative part, like Mauryan Empire, this was also divided into groupings or levels. So the highest is the empire, which was ruled by the emperor. Okay, the title of the emperor was mostly Maharaj Dhiraj, ruler of the ruler. There were other titles, but mostly it was ruled by Maharaj Dhiraj, and he had council of ministers. Now, these empires were divided into provinces. Provinces were called as Bhuti. The head or the governor of these provinces were called Uparika. Okay, there was another system during Gupta Empire. Now, when we speak about South India, even many parts, Guptas, when they captured that area, they gave back those areas to the original king, only on the condition that those king accepted the overlordship of the Guptas. So this system was called as they appointed the feudatory chiefs. Okay, the original kings were allowed to rule. Okay, but they accepted Guptas as their overlords. Okay, now these provinces were further divided into districts. Districts were called as Vishaya, and the in charge of districts were called as Vishayapati. The lowest unit was village, headed by probably the Sarpanch or the headman. Different entities, cities were also there, which were ruled or governed by their local authorities. Let's go to the next part. Okay, Gupta rule or Gupta Empire was called as the Golden Age. Why? Let us try to understand. There are different scenarios by which they are given the title Gupta Empire as as the Golden Age. First part is education. Gupta Empire saw boost in education. There are many universities which flourished during Gupta period, but we will be speaking about few. First is Nalanda University. Nalanda University is based in Rajgriha or modern day Rajgir, which is in Bihar. This was one of the greatest Buddhist center. When we speak about Chinese pilgrims, Fahian, Hinseng, they all came to India mostly to visit Nalanda University. Now, the strength, if you see the strength of Nalanda University, you will understand how powerful this university was. In this university, at its peak, they had 2,000 teachers and 10,000 students. So you can understand how big was this university. Hinseng also describes that there were buildings within this campus of university, which were 6-story buildings. So you can imagine, during that time, having 6-story building was quite a huge thing. One more thing which is quite not peculiar, which was very satisfactory with the university system during that time is that education was totally free. Any student, whoever got the admission in this school or this university, they had free lodging, free boarding, facilities were given freely. But the problem was a person had to pass a tough entrance exam. Once you were in there, all your facilities become. In these universities, students were taught logic, grammar, philosophy, astronomy, literature, Buddhism, and Hinduism. This university, even after the fall of Gupta Empire, lasted for many years. It was in the 12th century that this university was demolished by the outsider intruders. Another university which we will be seeing is the University of Takshashila, which is based in modern day Takshila, Pakistan. It was a center of learning, mostly the Buddhist learning was also there. Two famous people belonging to this university is Chanakya, which has written Arthashastra, and there was one Sanskrit grammarian, that is Panini, who was also a student of this university. Another university which is described in their textbook is Vallabhit University, which is based in modern day Gujarat. Next, the contribution towards science. Now, when we speak about contribution towards science, we will be speaking contribution towards medicine, mathematics, and astronomy much more. So when we go to this part, I want you to write down the names of any researcher, any scientist, any scholars which we get, and name of their books. I repeat, please write the names of the scholars and the name of the books on your notebook. Make the notes of it. So let us go to the first scholar which we have is Brihad Bhagavatta. Brihad Bhagavatta was a person who was learned in medicine. His book is Ashtanga Hridayam. He is very famous even now. They are followed by many people. Then we have another person called as Aryabhatta. Before I explain what Aryabhatta did, let me go back to Chandragupta Vikramaditya. During his time, in his court, there was a group of scholars. This group was called as Navaratnas or nine truths. So there were 9 scholars which were there. One of the scholars was Aryabhatta. Aryabhatta wrote many books. One of the famous books which he wrote was Aryabhatiya. Okay, Aryabhati is about trigonometry, geometry, algebra, and many of the mathematical literature. It tells us about numbers. He also defines zero. Aryabhatta was the person who described pi. He also defined how to calculate the area of the triangle. Aryabhatta is described to be one of the first person who spoke that sun is in the center and the planets revolve around it. He also described why solar eclipse and lunar eclipse takes place. Then we have another scholar, Varahamihira. Varahamihira was an astronomer. He wrote a book, Brihad Samhita. I repeat, Brihad Samhita or Samhita. Okay. This book is mostly based on geology, mathematics, astronomy, and botany. Another scholar which we find during the Gupta Empire is Brahmagupta. His book is Brahmasputa Siddhanta. I repeat, Brahmasputa Siddhanta. This book was mostly based on geography, and it is said that the crude definition of hint of what we call law of gravitation is described by Brahmagupta. The next part is metal work. If you have visited Delhi, okay, just near Qutub Minar in Delhi, there is one pillar, iron pillar, which is still standing. This iron pillar of Mehroli was made during the time of Guptas, during the time of Chandragupta Vikramaditya. And that pillar is still standing without getting affected by weather. It is said by many scientists as rust-proof metal. This was done during the time of Guptas. Same way, Gupta coins were one of the fine arts of that time. Even Yun Sen, who visited after the fall of Guptas, he describes that in Nalanda there was 25 meters, I repeat, 25 meters of Buddha's statue. So you can understand what was happening during Gupta, even later on, the metal work. Let's go to the next part, that is literature. So of Navaratna, we have already spoken about Aryabhatta as part. Kalidasa was one of the another part of Navaratna. Kalidasa wrote lots of books, mostly plays, poetry, drama, literature. All were written in Sanskrit, and these are some of the books which he wrote. From your exam point of view, try to remember at least three names or three books which were written by Kalidasa. I will read it for you. The first book which we have is Megha Dutta. Second is Ritu Samhara. Third is Kumara Sambhavam. Fourth is Raghuvamsha. Next is a romantic play, Abhijnan Shakuntalam. Then we have Vikrama Varshiya. And lastly, another play, romantic play, Malvika Agnimitra. If you observe these names, these are combination of two names. Okay, when we speak about Abhijnan Shakuntalam, it is combination of two names. Malvika Agnimitra, two names, Malvika and Agnimitra. So try to remember these names by combining these two words. Malvika, Agnimitra, whole names becomes Malvika Agnimitra. Right? Now let's go to the next part. Along with Kalidasa, we have other writers during that time. Vishakadatta Mudra Rakshasa, I have already spoken in your previous chapter. His another book which he wrote was Devi Chandragupta. This is story about Chandragupta Vikramaditya. Then we have Shudraka who has written Mritchakatika. Let me repeat the name, Mritchakatika. Then we have Bharavi who has written Kirata Arjuniya. Okay, it is story about Arjuna during the time of Mahabharata. Okay, Kirata Arjuniya. Then we have another writer, Dandin, who has written Dashakumara Charita, stories of 10 princes. Dashakumara Charita. And then we have Subandhu, who has written another play, a romantic play, based on one princess, Vasavadatta. And lastly, we have Panchatantra. You must have read this Panchatantra in your childhood. Okay, these were written mostly during the time of Guptas. Another point which is based to the golden age of Gupta is their architecture. I will not explain this in this lecture because there will be a special lecture based on architecture. I will combine Harappan architecture, I will combine Gupta architecture, I will also combine Chola architecture. So with this, I will end my session today. Thank you.